Okay, we are live. I have no one on here. Click the button. Okay, let's see if I can get Jeanette back. Okay, good. I'm going to try to get Jeanette back and a few others. Give me just a second. No, Jeanette's no longer on. So I'm not going to worry about it. I have it posted. People will be coming in and out as they deem fit. Otherwise, it's going to be permanently on my link. So without further ado, welcome to my cover review. But before we get to my new cover for The Fallen, which is coming out Black Friday, or for those of you that don't know the date, it's November 24th. Pre-orders would be going on sale very soon, so stay tuned for information about that. I don't have the actual date yet when they're going to be up, but it will be in the next couple of days for pre-orders for both print and ebook. But before we get to The Fallen, let's recap to The New Reign. I'm going to do a short reading session from the first book. This will be my lovely husband who's watching this. I love you. This will be his first time hearing it, not just seeing it in print. So let me get my book. And I don't like to start at the beginning, so I'm just going to pick a random page, or for you, it's random. For me, not so much. I can find my page. And as you see, it's an actual paperback, beautifully printed, cover designed by myself, and it's printed by Wild Dream Publishing. Love them. Back, also designed by me. I'll be reading the back as well, so anyone that's looking for this copy is on Amazon. English version is not currently available at Barnes & Nobles. However, they do have the French and Dutch versions, and I do apologize for my speech. So, "18 years ago, an unrest is settling among my people. Why, I cannot say for certain. Whispers are spoken, but even I can hear all that is being said. I just hope beyond all reason that whatever is wrong, it reveal itself to me. until my will not reveal itself to me until my daughter is born. I pray that I will have at least some time with her before I must be the Queen of Dark. Yet somehow I doubt that I will ever get the chance to see my daughter grow into her gifts. From the private journals of the Queen Adriana, Queen of Dark. This is Adriana's point of view, and each chapter is from a different character's point of view. I do want to point that out for my readers. Adriana glanced down at her newborn baby and smiled. Very carefully she picked her up from the smoke-black cradle. I do not know what I'm going to do with you. I can't call you my little sweetie for the rest of your life. She paused and let out a small laugh. Well, I could, but it's not a good name for a queen that will one day rule all of Dark. A light giggle had her turning her head to the door. Dearest sister, have you given my niece a name yet? Look at the woman who flowed into the womb. Adriana could not help but smile. Her twin, not an identical twin, but rather her complete opposite, where her twin had glowing golden hair. Her own was the color of night, though both were tall and slim and seemed to flutter when they walked. But Celeste embodied all things bright and golden. I cannot think of one that will do her justice. She pressed her lips together till there were nothing more than thin line before continuing. There is not a name I can think of that will embody the next queen that will give her enemies pause. Oh dear, our daughters are not yet 3 days old, and you're already talking enemies. I do swear. I should have your husband take you to see his homeland. I think all of the darkness and gloom of your own kingdom has finally made you a little draft. Turning away from her sister, she lightly scolded her. Very funny. Know as well as I that I cannot simply visit the pagan kingdom. You, on the other hand, well, they welcome you. Celeste rolled her eyes and held up her milky, pale arms. Yes, well, here, give me my niece. I should have some time with her before I leave for my own kingdom. She placed her precious little daughter in the arms of her sister. Adriana paused. Something in darkness was being whispered. All those she ruled were speaking of it, but what good was a whisper in the dark when she couldn't hear everything that was being said? I want you to take her with you. What? Celeste spun toward her to face her sister. She knew that look in her eyes. Someone or something was telling her something. What it might be she could never guess, but it was causing her enough distress. She looked more like a fairy tale warrior ready to do battle than a mother who had just given birth. What is it, sister? But black swirling mist hid her legs and clawed up her back, caressing her long raven-colored hair. Their whispers are not clear. No matter, I will have whatever it is settled soon enough, or my dear husband will. In either case, I would like you to please take our children to the Castle Frontier. I will come when it's safe. Frontier was the furthest of the castles of light, but the one nearest the Fang kingdom. So why of all places did Adriana want her daughter to be taken there? Not a question that she could ask, at least not while her sister was still having a conversation that only she could hear. But a request phrased as an ultimatum, not only could she, but it would not be the first time she had done so. I will, but only if you name your daughter, or I will be sending both of our daughters to our mother, and you can explain to her why I'm going with you. Adriana glanced at her sister through narrowed eyes, then down to her baby. The Fae name their children after the things they can turn into. At least that is what my dearest husband says." She closed her eyes and let the dark tendrils of mist leak from her and to around her daughter. Drawing him back, she smiled. "She will be called Nisha, daughter of night." And that's all I'm reading from The New Reign. For more, you're going to have to buy the book or have someone read it to you. But before we get into the interesting of the cover reveal, I have 2 giveaways going on right now. One is for Amazon. One is for a link that I created. Both end on Halloween. How fitting. The one on Amazon is for an ebook. The one that I created is for a signed edition of The Fallen. It's going to be drawn randomly. I believe both already have over 100 applicants, and I just created them, so they are going fast, and there's only one lucky winner on both. Now, for The Fallen, I will be posting a beautiful link later on. This one that I did is a 10-second video for an official cover reveal. Unfortunately, I can't do that and have the video play. So you get to have a beautiful picture of my cover. And here is the beautiful cover. Also designed by me. My husband does help me with some of the elements, help me pick what should be done. So he's my extra set of eyes. And another one. All these will also be put onto the website here shortly. So if you can't really see them, you will very shortly. I promise. Okay, let's see if I can get the Fallen up here without interrupting the video. I'm going to try something. Let's cross our fingers. My computer laptop is not the best for this kind of thing. Fingers crossed. So far it's working. Maybe. I think I got it. And no. Hold on. I'm going to try one more thing because I almost had it. And then a pop-up came up and yeah. Okay, I'm going to try plan B. Maybe. I'm refreshing. If you haven't been able to tell, me and computers do not get along very well. Almost there. So I'm very sorry for all the delays, but computers really do not like me. Now, I don't have a physical book of the Fallen here. It's not out yet, so bear with me. I'm reading from the computer. Okay, we're good now. Maybe. Okay, this is the story of Prima Vita. Frustrated beyond all reasoning, she picked up her crystal hairbrush and plucked down on her vanity. As her brush passed through her fiery red hair, she counted 1, 2. Gritting her teeth, she pulled the brush through her hair as she slowly hissed, 3. Taking a deep breath, she opened her dark, soulless eyes. Her parents were arguing about her again, debating if they should make her a tribute to the Star Cities or marry her off to one of the other royal star families. Slamming her crystal hairbrush down on her vanity, she shattered both. Upset and pissed off, she pushed away from her now destroyed vanity, no longer caring if her hair was perfectly smooth or fiery mess. No longer cared enough to shed tears that she had so many times before. She no longer cared about much of anything. Holding her tears back, she held all of her strong emotions, her hurt. If you're going to kill one of your children, why ever have more than one? She growled to herself. Her parents were not only not in the room, but were deep within the depth of the palace, but not deep enough where she could not hear them when she so chose. See them whenever she pleased. There was nowhere in all the Star Cities that she couldn't reach, couldn't see. Not that anyone ever believed her. Not that any dared to. Another breath, then she turned to her door. Not much of a door when you could see through it. You could see through everything except a single room in the palace, and that room was off limits to everyone except the queen herself. Frustrated, she turned away from the door. Nothing was private on this miserable star. Nothing. Don't even think about knocking, dear sister, she snapped, letting her thundering voice rattle the shards of crystal that now laid on her floor. As the glass door opened, her sister smiled, even though her sister was turned from her. Primavera, are you more agitated than usual? Why? Damn her sister, the crowned Princess Starless. Glaring at her sister, she dared not say what was on her lips, instead took her in her sister's rare beauty. Golden rays tumbled down her back, shimmering in the light of the room, silver speckles dancing on her skin. But it was her eyes, the eyes of the galaxy, that saw everything. I will not marry a man who wishes only to have my power for his own. Ah, so our parents are at it again, trying to keep you from the tribute, and yet you refuse. As she turned, her fiery red hair wrapped around her, revealing her wings, wings that she was warned several times never to let be seen. The only reason I'm still here is because Avia. Starless brushed over to her near, placing her hand over Primavera's mouth. Whispering, she said, "Shh, you know better than to speak her name." She pushed her sister away, nearly allowing her to tumble. Primavera hissed, "She is my daughter, and I will speak her name whenever it pleases me." Regaining her balance and closing the distance between them, Starless whispered, "You will get her killed. Now hush. I cannot protect her if you do not protect yourself." Her sister was right, but only partly so. "You're right. I cannot protect her while I'm still on Luna Nesta." Then she turned sharply. She needed only but a moment to decide what to do next, only a moment to figure out how to bring out the change the Star Cities needed. A sigh of relief, then finally, the same reason, another moment to decide. "Which is why I'm leaving." Closing her eyes, Starless tried again to reason with her impulsive younger sister. Yet again. "You cannot just leave. There is nowhere in the Star Cities that you could go and not be found. Not that you can get to any of the Star Cities." She let her eyes slowly open and took a deep breath and tried to remind her sister. "Only messengers can go between the Star Cities, and they have special training and abilities to do so." As a second child, her powers, her abilities had been left untrained. Even so, there was no one more powerful, no one, not even her dear sister, and certainly not the full Azia, who ruled Palace. Slowly the room filled with the black mist, not uncommon since she did this one after she wished for privacy. Not that their parents allowed her, but then again, they were powerless to stop her. Even Azia lacked the power required to stop her. Turning back to her sister, she made sure she didn't turn away from her gaze, made sure her sister's eyes met her. Seeing the fear in Starless's face, she smiled, a cruel and bitter smile. Hooking invisible hooks into her sister's mind, she spoke. "Do not worry, sister. You will not remember much of this when I do promise." "What are you doing? How? This is forbidden?" "Yes, I know. But then again, I have never been one for rules. Now hush, and you will know what it is you must do." I, the hooks drove deeper, intertwining into the very fabrics of Starless's mind. Defeated, her body sagged. "What must I do?" When you ask, when asked, you will tell our parents I tried to flee and was swept away in the void. I, in a sense, died, just as those who were foolish enough to try have done since the beginning of time. Starless is mortified of what her sister was proposing. Your powers will never feed Star Cities. Our family will have no tribute. Actually, they would have too, since our parents are so keen on the idea of keeping the tradition, they can offer themselves. Mother's powers will pass to you as queen, but father, well, he can feed the catacombs of palace, I suppose. I doubt Ozzy will check to see who has been offered as tribute. Primitivita smiled. I know he will not. Now, my daughter, you will raise her as your own. She would be your child, but your only child. Your powers are weak compared to hers, and she is only but days old. None outside of parents know I gave birth, and none will think twice about you having a child with no interest in love. Because my sister can create life out of nothing. Yes, that is plausible. So glad you agree, since you won't remember most of this in a few minutes. Now, she stepped back and called in a single tribute box. Silver, but the inlays were not of that of melting magma, but shimmering crystal. This would be passed down to our bloodlines for 3 generations. That is 3,000 years where I'm going. This box will only open to the first male child born, who was the firstborn child. From now on, for the first 3 generations, the father of the child must be the tribute. No excuses. This instructions will be passed down to the child of the crown. I understand. Calling in the mist back to her, she smiled. No, sister, you did not. You do not have the gift of foresight, but that is okay, for I do. Wrapping her arms around her sister, she gave her one last hug. Close your eyes, my dear, and I will be gone by the time you open them. And that is all in my reading from the Fallen tonight. Yeah, it is much darker than the New Reign. And there is a reason for this, I do promise. But that is for another day. So I thank you for joining me today. I thank those who come and watch the video and learn about not only the Fallen, but the New Reign, and go ahead and try your luck at both raffles. And I bid you all a good night.